is, are we on? That's the thing, because
Is this
normally,
thing on? Yeah.
no, no,
It
no,
says live. It says live up there, and it's counting.
uh,
But I know normally we go into the
the
intro.
2 minute countdown,
Yeah, yeah. So here's the thing:
the 2 minute countdown.
if
So
we're
we're
if
gonna.
we're live, let us know. If you see us out there in the world, let us know.
I think we're okay. It's just one of those things where we need to see,
Yeah,
have a minute go by before anything happens, and we'll
yeah.
begin the show. You do realize that at that point we're gonna have to sing the Area 210 song, right?
Right? Hey, we got to do it a cappella style, bro. We're gonna have. There you go. Okay, can you see us? The real Bobby.
The
You
chat
see
is
us? The
the
chat is
chat
live. You
is
see,
on.
we
The
we
chat
don't
is
know if
on.
we're on, real Bobby, because we don't have Joe with us. Joe is dealing with the family issue today, a funeral,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So prayers to Joe, but and his family. But we're flying solo without the man behind the all the magic. So let us know if we're good. Uh,
Very nice. We're all good. So we're going to start the show in earnest in about 30 seconds. We're going to
yeah,
have to karaoke the end of the
yeah,
song,
acapella
the
style.
Area
Yeah, yeah.
210.
Bart and Bella style. Yeah, pitch perfect style.
Very nice. Very nice. Barton Bella style, which, by the way, was filmed at LSU. I don't know if you
I
knew
know.
that.
I remember you told me. Yeah, I didn't know that until you told me that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. My daughter would take me to all the areas, especially that one amphitheater
Oh
where they did
yeah.
the,
Oh, where they
where
did
they
the
did
whole
that
party thing,
party.
where
Yeah,
the
that was
guy's
good.
like in his dorm, like all
Yeah,
sad,
crying.
right, yeah, 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 singing the song.
All right. All right, Area 210. It's a life
That's
that
that
we
we chose,
chose.
right? Hey,
Very
damn,
nice.
we're horrible, bro. We're off key, man.
Welcome to the Area 210 podcast, powered by PF Chang's Stock Antenna. My name is Mike Jimenez. In the middle, you got Rick Fernandez, the legendary Spernandez. You can catch him on Twitter at the real Spernandez. Again, you can catch me at MJ Acquired Taste. Our condolences to Joe Garcia. He's at a funeral today. A family member passed away a little over a week ago, and he has taken the day off, which means I am at control of the show and I'm at the control of the chat. Okay. When it comes to all that. So I'm used to like just talking, but
Yeah,
now I'm having to push buttons. But when Joe gives
yeah.
me control, I don't have the ability to do what I need to do. Or maybe I do. Maybe I did. Maybe I just didn't do it right. But
What are you
either
talking about? Like
way,
you're talking about putting the like chats on the screen, or what are you talking about?
well, yeah, because last time I was on here, I was logged in as
Mm,
myself, but now I'm logged in
right.
as Joe.
Oh, now you're on
So
Joe,
I'm,
bro. You got God rights, bro.
I'm sure,
But
uh,
Joe has God rights, man. He can do all of it, bro. So
I'm sure somewhere on here we have the Area 210 intro, but we're just going to bypass that right now and
yeah.
get straight into the show. The chat is powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. We have a lot of people, real Bobbies on here. Charlie
Mhm.
Hernandez, Fake Killer, Greg De La Cruz,
Yeah.
Sam Salinas in
Our,
the house,
yeah.
Tex-Mex
Mhm.
Frank.
Our girl
Good morning,
Stephanie's in the
everybody.
house.
Stephanie,
Yeah.
very nice,
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Joe's
nice.
at a
So
funeral, Stephanie.
we have a lot to get into today. Okay, first and foremost, the Cowboys lost to the Detroit Lions 44-30. And this was a game in which, going into it, even I thought the Cowboys were going to win this game. I thought so because I thought Amon-Ra St. Brown was not going to play. And I
Right.
said, that right there is a killer, right? Because they already missing Sam Laporta, their stud tight end. They had a lot of injuries. And I thought to myself, man, no Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're going to lose a game. The dude's out there a week after an ankle injury, looking like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
He got injured out of a game a week ago on Thanksgiving Day, and he looked perfectly fine out there. Cowboys give up 44 points, and this is a game that essentially knocked the Cowboys out of playoff contention. Cowboys dropped to
Mhm.
6-1. We're gonna get in this game. George Pickens getting roasted on by the national media and by fans right now for his performance or lack of performance yesterday. We'll get into that. Spurs back in action against the Cavaliers. It's
Yeah.
one of those things, Fernandez. February's going to roll around. We're going to be talking about trade deadlines, going after a star, maybe Giannis, go after a veteran player, maybe. Are we going to be buyers or sellers? Where are we going to be at that point? Saw that video of them singing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus before the Orlando game.
Hmm.
And I had to ask this question. We'll get into this, Fernandez. Is the Spurs new culture? Because the old culture's gone. Tim, Tony, and Martin
Hmm.
are not walking through that door.
Right.
But is the new culture with the new players too good to mess with? Because
Hmm.
if you watch that video, it seems as though they all love each other
Mhm.
and they're all happy to be there. There's a joy in the room for the first time in 6 years. We're gonna get into some boxing news. There's some boxing going on in the Alamo City over the weekend.
Yep.
Bernard is gonna lead that conversation, and then again, our chat is powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. Thank you so much for the endorsement by PF Chang's La Cantera. They will also are setting up an interview with us on 1 week from today. We're gonna have Billy Madison from Billy Madison Radio. That's a big get,
Great.
man.
That's great. Oh yeah, that's
So,
huge. That's
so,
awesome. That's
so
great. That's
very
great,
cool.
man. Yeah. What's up,
But
Alex Noriega? Good morning, brother.
but about last night's Cowboys losing that game 44-30, essentially cooking their season. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Now we can actually put that to rest. The season's over.
Mhm.
So many different things would
What
have to happen for the
what
Cowboys.
did they say? They said they had a 9% chance still. That they showed the graphic yesterday, and it said,
Yeah,
the both teams, right? Both teams, the Lions and the Cowboys. They said, if which was crazy actually. It was like, you win these, and who wins, you get this. You lose, you get this. So yeah, I don't know the exact numbers. Mike, you might be able to help me, but I think it said like it was like 39% if the Cowboys were to win and 9% if they lost, and it
yeah.
was like 50 something percent for the Lions, and it was going to go down to like 20 when they lost, which was still huge. But so that game was so pivotal for both teams.
It was a
It was
playoff game.
so pivotal for both teams. Yes, it basically was a knockout game, a knockout round game, basically, if you want to call it that, right? Because like you said, basically the winner still has a chance to be in the hunt, and the loser of that game, uh man, you are basically rounding out your season. Real quick, Total Loco is saying dope cat, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. This is part of that statement edition, gear, the New Jerseys and stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
pretty dope. I like all the little details on the brand and stuff like that. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Nobody has more
Jason.
Spurs gear than
Bro,
Spernandez.
I'm telling you, bro. It's the drip is all over. Rick got that drip. You know what I'm saying? That drip is
Nice.
everywhere, bro. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. Jason Garcia saying he likes the glasses. I appreciate that. These are also new glasses that I'm breaking out today. So I appreciate that. Good morning,
Very
Tony.
nice. The best
Appreciate
I
you.
could do
But
is a new haircut. But best I could do is a
hey,
new haircut.
hey, hey, a
Which,
haircut goes a long way, bro. I'm
which,
telling you,
by the
bro.
way, I
Yeah.
gotta tell you about what they do at the hair place that I go to. But it's kind of funny. But Cowboys lose yesterday, 44-30.
Yeah,
ESPN says that their chances fell to 8%. I'm looking at a
8%.
graphic right
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
To 8%. It would have been north of 40% with a win
yeah,
because they could have hypothetically gone after the Eagles in the NFC East, or they could have gone after the Niners for the last wild card spot, right? They could have been in position to possibly move into that role. But last night was the first time in a month that the Cowboys defense struggled. And I know there were a lot of controversial plays and some questionable referee calls and all that stuff. But when you see certain plays go down and the Cowboys give up 44 points, I'm sorry, the referees didn't give up 44 points. The Cowboys
yeah.
defense.
Sure.
What do you think happened to the Cowboys defense to allow all that? Because Jameer Gibbs and Montgomery went off, and I said this yesterday. John Dyer, one of our listeners or subscribers,
Mhm.
X7 John Dyer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Spurs and
was
salsa.
saying was saying, "Hey, put more people inside, put a 5-man front." And I said yesterday, you don't do that because once you get past that 5-man front, that secondary is not good
Smooth
enough to
sailing.
catch up.
Yeah,
It is smooth sailing. And
yeah,
every time Gibbs or Montgomery got past that line, they were
yeah.
gone.
It was gone. I know. Yeah, I know. Man. So I mean, well, prior to this stretch where they beat the Raiders, which are the Raiders, but the Eagles and the Chiefs wins were extremely impressive. It looked like the defense had figured it out. I always struggle with his name. Elfribus, with the coordinator,
Yeah, yeah,
Elfribus, yeah, whatever.
yeah.
What his name needs to be is what Joe likes to say. God.
Gone.
But that's what his name needs to be. The dude was
Eberflus,
was
I
a
believe. Yeah.
Eberflus, yeah. The dude was a disaster as a head coach in Chicago. I mean, I'm
Duke
usually a
kind of went
fan.
off a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. We good?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh, oh, oh.
You paused for a second, but no, we're back. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'm usually a fan of former head coaches, no matter how bad they did as coordinators, because you got to think,
Yeah.
some guys are just really good coordinators, man, and they get a head coaching job, and then they shit the bed. So I'm usually a fan of of a former head coach, no matter how bad they did, as a coordinator. Because to me, I say, well, he ran the whole team, and now all he has to do is focus on one aspect of the team. So having that head coaching experience is usually a good thing. But he was a disaster as a Chicago head coach. He's a disaster as the coordinator. Point I was trying to make is, prior to those stretch where they were
Hey,
winning,
Fernandez, if you can log back out and log back in, I'll bring you back.
am I zipping in and out?
The house. And I'm looking at the Cowboys defense right now, and I'm thinking to myself, is it the same defense that's going to be around? Do you hang your hat on what happened against Kansas City? Do you hang your hat about what happened against the Kansas City Chiefs? Where you look at that team, and as I'm bringing up the question, Cowboy fans, should they hang their hat on? Hey, man, we beat the Chiefs and Eagles, the two teams that were in the last Super Bowl. Do you look at that and go, our defense is capable of doing that? Or do you look at the Lions game and think to yourself, my God, maybe those were just mirages. Maybe the Raiders were just a really bad team. Maybe the Chiefs, who are probably not going to make the playoffs this year, aren't that good of a team. Maybe the Eagles are overrated. Maybe this defense isn't necessarily fixed just yet, although it looked good the last few weeks leading into this game. Cowboys defense, though, is still the bugaboo for this team because, man, you put up 30 points, you should win games.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they
and
didn't.
yeah, and I don't know if I was glitching or whatever happened, but that's what I was trying to get at. What I was trying to say was, prior to that stretch where they beat the Eagles and the Chiefs, the defense was struggling, right? The defense has been struggling all year, man. They looked horrible early in the season. Then they looked like they were getting it together. Um, and then yesterday happened. um, and like you said, Mike, I think those. I mean, they were. These are NFL players, or these are NFL teams, right? They can get up for a game or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are professional football players. So, and I'm a Cowboys fan, bro. I'm a Cowboys fan, and everybody knows that. And I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm trying. I try to be objective when I get on this show. Like, I really do. I try not to
Yeah.
just be a pom pom waver. So I'm gonna be real. To me, I think the Eagles and the Chiefs game, no matter as impressive as they were, must have they were just galvanizing moments where they just really kind of got it together just for those couple of days. Um, they are who they are, and like what your record tells you who you are, or and whatever the saying is. So to me, that defense, man, is it's not where it needs to be. And like you said, the secondary is the problem, man. You get past that front line, and there is no resistance. There is
Yeah.
no resistance in that secondary.
Well, I mean, Vegas thought that the Lions were going to win this game. Vegas had this as a
Hmm.
3 spread in favor
Yeah,
of Detroit. So it's not like it was unheard of. I just thought about this
sure.
game. I said, what are the keys to victory for the Cowboys? Keys to victory is you need to have a touchdown from CeeDee Lamb and George
Yeah,
Pickens. Did we see any of that? No.
yeah.
We needed
Well,
at least
and
rushing 80 from
yeah.
Javante. Did it
Well,
happen?
what's
No.
yeah. What's also frustrating is they were still in this. They were down what 21-9 or something at one point, and they still felt like they were in it, and they were. They cut the lead
Mhm.
to 3. They had a chance to there was some questionable calls about, like, should they have gone for the field goal versus the touchdown. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to score points, right? If you're down 10, at some point you got to score 7, at some point you got to score 3. I'm not opposed to just scoring the 3 and getting it over with. Hell, my sons and I were watching the game, and Mike, you could tell me if you agree with this. This is kind of it could be considered a controversial take. My son said, my son, he's 25. My middle son Jacob, he said, hey, with 5 minutes left, even if there's a second or third down, kick the field goal and give yourself more time to stop them and get the ball back and all that. Versus they killed like 2 minutes. It was like three and some change by the time they finally kicked that field goal. And I guess at the end of the day, it didn't matter because the Lions scored on them. But I mean, at the end of the day, the
No.
defense still has to stop the Lions. The defense has to stop the Lions. So it doesn't matter if you score the field goal or the touchdown if you're not going to stop the Lions.
Right.
You
No,
know what
no,
I'm
I
saying?
understand
Like,
that's
yeah, yeah,
video game mentality. That's video game
yeah,
mentality, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
works. And
yeah,
it's actually the correct thing to do. It's no
yeah.
different than whenever you have a team that's like a tie game
Yeah,
and the other team is running out the clock and they're inside the
yeah.
10, you let
Let
them
them score.
score
Let them score.
so that you
Exactly.
get the
Let them
ball back.
score. Yeah, because if you just let them score, you're guaranteed to get the ball back. If you keep trying to stop them like you said, inside the and the clock is ticking, the clock is ticking. You're listen. You have no chance if you don't get the ball back. You know what I
These
mean?
are
You have a slim chance if you do get the ball back.
these are the analytics when it comes to time management that is new age. It's new school
Yeah,
because we
it
play
is.
video games, we play Madden and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and that's what we do. That's not the culture of the coaching staff. The culture of the
Right.
coaching staff is to do it the old school way,
Sure, sure, sure. But I'll tell
and
you what, it's what's slowly changing is the going forward on four down. I was telling my son when I was a kid, I never saw teams going for it on four down. Like it was like fourth and inches and they'd punt it.
yeah,
I always remember as a kid very rarely seeing anyone going for it on four down. It was like a big deal. If somebody went for it on four down, and now a lot of teams are going for it on four down, which I don't disagree with. I mean. I like it actually. You know,
yeah.
if you can't get a yard, if you feel like your team cannot get 1 yard, 3 yards, like whatever. I mean, in what's the difference? And I know what the difference is, but in your mind, fourth and five versus second and five, like you know what I mean? Like get the 5 yards, like
Yeah.
get the damn 5 yards, And if you're an NFL football team, you should not be afraid to get 5 yards. So it's interesting. It's like you said, it's interesting seeing the some of the shift, but it's slow because, like you said, some of the coaches are still in that traditional mentality.
Right. Mario Cavasso is coming in with a very interesting point. Dak Prescott was sacked 5 times, should have been 6, right? But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
defensive player was trying to strip the ball and allowed
yeah.
Dak to get back to the line of scrimmage, so it went down as a rush when it was
Right,
really kind of a
right.
quasi
Yeah,
sack when it was all
sure.
said and done. But Dak was pressured a lot. Dude, I'm sorry, that was a safety. When it was 3-3,
Oh yeah, yeah,
that was a
yeah,
safety.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't see the officiating was kind of screwy on both ways
It was. It really
because
was.
it
Yeah,
was ruled a safety on the field. You
yeah.
cannot tell me that there was 100% evidence to reverse
To
that,
overturn it. Yeah, yeah.
to overturn it.
It's really hard to overturn usually, right? What the call is on the field. So, like you said, for them to overturn that, that was kind of interesting. There was that PI, that offensive PI call was crap. I like to blame the refs because, like you said, Mike, at the end of the day, you can't blame the refs. Now, yes, there's some crucial calls that could have went the other way or whatever, but that offensive PI I think was crap, and there was a couple of other questionable calls. But I'm not going to
I
blame
mean,
refs, man. You're not
the
going to
the
blame
offense
refs. I mean,
the
that's
offensive PI happened, but it's just never called.
yeah, yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You do
It's
that
like
a swim through thing, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
he did gain an advantage by doing it, but it's just like one of those plays where they say how
That
there's
happens
always
all the time, and they don't call it.
right.
Like
It's kind of like
yeah, yeah,
holding.
yeah.
There's holding on every play. It's just
Right,
whether you
right. Of course.
call it.
It's just a matter if you're gonna call it or not. Yeah. It's just like how egregious is it, right? How like if it's just
Yeah.
so obvious, that you can't not call it. So and it's just like one of those things like the Lions didn't need help. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like the Lions didn't need help from the refs. So they were fine as is. That's what I watch my son play basketball sometimes, and like the other day they were playing a really good team. And they were playing this team who my son plays AAU ball with them on the off season. So I knew they were good. And it's like
Mhm.
it's a private school and all this kind of stuff. They were beating the brakes off of us. And then like the refs start giving them calls, and it's like, hey, bro, don't need any help. You know what I mean? They don't need any help. You know what I mean? So
Now, now,
it's
now,
one of those things.
now, third quarter, we saw CeeDee Lamb exit the game with a concussion.
Yeah.
That was interesting because everyone thought it was an arm injury.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was gating. I don't know if you heard the
Hmm.
phrase gate before,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
whenever you have a concussion, you tend to like stiffen up and your arms
Right. Right. Right.
go in
Right.
a
Yeah.
certain
Hmm.
position.
Sure. Sure.
He was doing that, and I didn't
Hmm.
realize that that's what he was
Hmm.
doing because it looked as though the way he landed. Oh, maybe he hurt his wrist,
Right. Right. Kind
maybe
of the
he hurt
way
his
he
arm.
was. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And no, it was his body reacting to the concussion, and they
Yeah.
announced it
Yeah,
being
man.
a
It's yeah.
concussion. They announced it to be a
Yeah.
concussion right away. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah. Again, when it comes to concussions, man, and what's up, Myra's in the chat? What's up, baby girl? When it comes to that kind of stuff, it's a neurological thing, right? And your brain is telling your body certain things, man. Man, one of the craziest things I've seen in boxing was a guy get laid out, and he's on the floor, and he's throwing punches and blocking like on the floor, concussed.
Oh, that's
Like
crazy.
his yes, Simon Brown. I'll never forget that. That was the craziest thing I saw because the mind was still telling him that he was up and boxing, but he was literally on the floor. So, like you
Yeah.
said, the mind is it's like a defense mechanism, right? So the mind is telling you to, like you said, gating to keep your defensive posture. So yeah, I didn't know what it was either. It happened so fast, and like you said, I thought it was a shoulder or something at first, the way he kind of landed. But
Cowboy fans suddenly hate George Pickens.
hey, man,
George
yeah,
Pickens, who's one of the
yeah,
best wide receivers in all the
yeah,
NFL this year, who's
yeah,
gonna be a Pro Bowler,
right,
who is gonna be an All Pro player this year, had a bad game in a game that the Cowboys really needed. 5 receptions for under 35 yards.
yeah,
He had a lot of targets, but
yeah.
it appeared as though, and this is what the talking heads on ESPN are talking about today. It appeared as though he hated the fact that he was getting double teamed,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and he didn't want to get hit. So there
right.
were a couple of plays that he gave up on because he saw the defender was like, I
Like nah,
don't want any
yeah,
of that smoke.
I'm good. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he pulled up on it, and there were a couple of plays where it looked like he got double teamed, and he just got frustrated. Like, damn it, they're double
sure,
teaming
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Stop doing that. Stop
Because the
doing that.
double team
Yeah,
typically goes to
to
CeeDee
CD.
Lamb,
Yes, yes.
and they're giving it to him, and it threw him off.
And that's what my sons and I were talking about. That as soon as CD went out, we were like, bro, who's getting double now. It's not even a question. You know what I mean? And like you said, maybe he's just not used to being that guy that's doubled because like you said, CD's out there and Pickens is excuse me. Cowboys aren't where they are without Pickens. So come on, man. And again, bad games are bound to happen. Texas Latina says she doesn't hate him. Yeah, man. Like bad games are about to happen, but you know how it is. It's just like the Spurs, man. You Fans are fickle. Fans are like I always say, man. Fans are like a
Mhm.
fickle mistress. They love you when you're hitting, and when you ain't hitting, they don't love you no more. So it is
Oh,
what it is, man. I think he'll bounce
we have a
back,
super
but
chat.
but not
We
to
have a
not
super
to
chat
say
coming
some of
in.
that wasn't not to say that some of that wasn't warranted. By like you said, by Pickett's not wanting to engage.
Super chat coming in from Jason Garcia. Thank you so to jump over two teams to make it happen. San Francisco for the last wild card spot, but this win gets them to within a game of where they need to be when it comes to it all. But going back to George Pickens, Pickens it was a frustration game for him yesterday. He did not have the looks defensively that he normally sees, and he
Hmm.
couldn't adjust. That's
Right.
not to say that he sucks. That's not to say anything
Of
other
course.
than that.
Yeah.
But when he was needed the most, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And you can't have these off games, especially when you have to thread the needle and win out to make the playoffs. And I don't want to
Yeah.
hear any of this crap right now about, well, the Cowboys could win the last 4 games and end the year 10-5 and 10-6-1. Guess what that gets
They,
you?
yeah.
Nothing. It
They
gets
do
you
have a pretty
nothing.
soft schedule. They do have a pretty soft schedule. And that's why this game was so important. Because if they win this game against the Lions, um, you you have a fairly favorable schedule going forward. So yeah, you can win out and miracles can happen and all that. It would take a lot of help and all that, but yeah, you got to win the game. And then, like I said, what's still frustrating, Mike, is they were in it to the end, bro.
Right.
It's not like they got the brakes beat off of them, dog. Like they were in it, man, and they came back and they fought and they battled, and that's what's even. I don't know what's more frustrating. Is it more frustrating to just get you blown out and get the brakes beat off of you, or to be there and feel like there's hope and it's right there and then and then to lose like that. So the offense was
Oh,
even with
but to
George
use that
Pickens.
word, you
What's up?
I don't know if I'm
Freeze.
freezing or if Fernandez is
You're
freezing,
freezing, Mike.
but the
You're
fact of the matter,
freezing. Yeah.
you're freezing too, which is kind of weird. I don't. It's so funny. It's not the internet necessarily because I think it's the software that we're using. I don't think I
Yeah.
have the bandwidth for this particular software.
Again, we're not Joe's not
But I'm
here
turning
and
off.
Joe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe usually runs the show. Um, you use the four-letter word that is very dangerous for the Cowboy fans out there, which is hope.
Mhm.
You're saying that they're providing hope. And the
Yeah,
fact of the matter is that hope is a bad thing for Cowboy fans because they're gonna sell that to Cowboy fans. It's our
yeah,
year, we
yeah,
them boys and all that stuff. It's almost as though they can go back and say, "Hey, look, we beat the Chiefs, we beat the Eagles.
yeah, 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 yeah. We
We
had
had
a
the
somewhat successful season. Yeah,
makings
yeah,
of
yeah,
something."
yeah, yeah,
And now we have 2 first round draft picks because the Cowboys do have 2 first rounders. They have their own
yeah,
and they have Green Bay's as part of the Micah Parsons trade.
yeah,
But the Cowboys are exactly what we thought they are. They're an average team.
yeah.
And the chatter about Dak being an MVP candidate goes away. He's not an MVP candidate anymore. He can go have
He's playing top-notch football though, Joe. Joe, I'm sorry, Mike. He is playing some top-level football, man. He really is, man.
but
And I'm
so
not.
so
It
is
does,
so
of
is
course,
Matt Staffy.
of
So is
course,
Drake
of
May.
course,
And
of
they're going to the
course. Yeah,
playoffs. And
yeah, yeah,
they're having first round buys.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm sorry, but the whole idea that Dak was an MVP candidate was a joke from the beginning. Because
I don't
again,
think
you
it
need
was
to
a
have a winning
joke in
record
the
to make it happen.
beginning. Yeah, I don't think it was a big joke in the beginning. I mean, I think he was playing well and he was playing on at least an MVP discussion. But no, at this point, no, of course not. Like we talked about this a long time ago. We said no matter how good the stats are, if you don't make the playoffs, you can't call yourself an MVP. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you just can't, right? That's just
Yeah,
gotta win, you know?
Sam Selena saying, "Did Mike just say we?" I said it in a third person perspective, as in the talking point of a Cowboy
Yeah.
fan, which I'm
Yeah.
not. Okay, because
You
last
know
night,
what? Real quick on that subject, I'm not a we guy. I actually kind of hate that. I hate that we us thing. Like people actually think that they're part of the team or like that they suit up for the team. You know, I don't know, and I get it, and I'm sure I've said it before. I'm not saying I never have, but it's always funny to me. Like especially like with, and we'll get into Giannis talk, but I hear this like. We don't want Giannis. He's gonna mess us up. You know, like who the fuck is we and us, man? Are you in that? Are you singing Miley Cyrus in that locker room? You know, what's this we us
well, let's
stuff? You
get into
know?
that. Let's
And
get
then
into
there's
that.
the segue, Mike. I'm learning segues from you, Mike.
Well,
I'm learning segues from you, Mike.
there you go, man. There you go. Yeah. So it's very rare that I get misty-eyed about the Spurs since 2017. Right, the Spurs had
Hmm.
6 years in a row of losing. My stepdaughter, Chica's daughter, was laughing at me yesterday because she was 25 years old. We were talking about the Spurs and the Rockets and
Hmm.
things like that. And she goes, the Spurs have been losing a lot. I said, well, it was 6 years. And she goes, that was a
Yeah, yeah,
quarter of my life.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, good perspective, right?
Sure, sure.
But the Spurs fans have not had a lot to cheer about, other than that we've won lottery picks. We got Castle, we got Harper, we got Wemby. So we've been cheering for the process.
Hmm.
But having something to cheer for on the court is something that we haven't had in 6 years. The Spurs have an excellent record right now at 15-6 through 21 games. And I saw this video on the Spurs posted that's been going all over the place prior to the Spurs getting that victory in Orlando. The Spurs getting that victory when Luke Cornett got that block to save the day at the last second,
Hmm.
and then he did the pose.
Yeah, yeah.
But they show the video before the game. And if you haven't seen it, go look it up. Okay.
Hmm.
It is the Spurs team, almost the entire 15 team player roster in a circle singing along to Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA. And they're chanting towards each other, they're singing to the song, and they're getting amped up. It's kind of like a ritual before the game to kind of get hyped before the game and take the
Yeah,
court,
yeah.
right? And it's not to say that the teams haven't done that in the past, but the difference between this and years past is that when you look at every player there, from Dylan Harper to Luke Cornett, who's a veteran, to another veteran, Bismack Biyombo, to uh, Jones Garcia, to Champagny, and you look at their faces, there's absolute joy in their faces before taking the court. And when you have that type of joy, you cannot have that joy without love. They genuinely love each other on this team. And it got me thinking when I'm watching that video, Fernandez, should the Spurs tinker with that? Because the Spurs might be buyers. The Spurs might be a 3, 4, 5 seed going into the trade deadline in February. And can you imagine them trading off 2 or 3 pieces to get another guy? Is it possible that the Spurs' new culture is too good to tinker with?
That's a good question. That's a good question, and I think it's a lot to unpack. Because yeah, you love it. Like you said, I love the part in the USA that has Keldon written all over it, in my opinion. We know he
Yeah,
loves Mariah Carey,
Mariah.
and we know it's his ilk, So I'm sure he's all about Miley and the part in the USA thing. So that has Keldon written all over for me. Um, I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's fun. Even at the end of the games, you saw that interview with Harrison Barnes where they all kind of got behind him and started getting crazy and all that.
Yeah.
So they're having fun. The team is having fun for the first time, and there used to be this stigma about, well, Pop doesn't let the team have fun, and this, and
Mm,
all that, and then Tim, Manu, and Tony, but I think again it worked for them. You know what I mean? They won championships, and all that. Again, that's the old regime, and I'm not talking about like that's like you said, that's not coming back to the door, and I get that. So this is and again, Mitch at the helms. It just it has a different feel. It has a different feel with the energy and how excited they are and how what it translates on the court, right? How fun they seem to be and how they get along with each other. Um, and yeah, Matt D5D says Pop's seriousness led to rings, which is true. Which is true. I mean, like at the end of the day, you could say all day long that he wasn't fun and he didn't let him do anything and blah blah blah, but they were winning back then. So it's like pick your poison. Do you want to have fun and not win, or do you want rings, or do you want to be serious and win rings? I don't know.
Well,
Here's my thing. Go ahead.
well, can you have fun and win rings?
That's the key, right? That's the goal. That's the euphoria is to mesh both. Have fun and win rings. You know what I mean? That's what you want, right? It's not one or the other, right? It's like at your job. You make a lot of money and you hate your job, or do you love your job and don't make any money? The key is to love your job and make money. You know what I mean? If you can
Right.
do both, then we're rolling now. Um, what I'll say about this, and I know there's a lot of Giannis chatter and there's a lot of uh trade talk. I, I think pairing Giannis with Wemby would be amazing. I do. I think pairing Giannis with Wemby would be crazy. I know a lot of people don't want to touch the roster. Um, which before it's kind of funny because before it was like, why do you guys fall in love with players and why do y'all fall in love with certain whatever? And now like the same people are kind of doing the same thing. Like people that used to say things like that, like, why do y'all just fall in love we like the group we got, right? People used to laugh about that. Remember that when people would
Yeah.
clown that people would clown that mentality. Whoa, we like the group we got. They don't ever want to trade. They want to just keep drafting, and they would like mock it basically. And now it seems to be something not to mock. It seems to be, we need to keep doing that. So so the fun team that that Spurs fans have right now. I guess my question though is when is they realistically gonna win a ring? Like honestly, when is this group? What's their window to win the ring? I don't think it's in the next year, 2 or 3. Mike, I don't know. What do you think? Is it 5? Is it 3? I mean,
Well, I mean,
it,
first of all, the Spurs have Wemby for 8 seasons, and we're in year
uh,
3.
mm,
It's 2 4-year deals,
yeah,
and he's a restricted free agent after the first one, so the Spurs lock him down for another 4 years. So the
mm,
idea that the Spurs are going to lose Wemby anytime soon is
yeah,
not
no,
true.
no,
And
no.
you know how I always say you can't believe what a certain team or a certain player says to the media,
Mhm,
but you can read people's eyes. I truly
yeah,
believe that the eyes, as they say, is the window to the soul.
yeah,
When you see the joy that's out there,
mhm,
when you see Wemby embracing the team and the
yeah,
team being 7-2, I believe is the record without Wemby, a
right,
higher winning percentage without him than with him.
yeah, mhm,
When you see him out there and you see that he's starting to believe that this
Hmm.
team can win. Because even when he was in France and they were making the playoffs over there, they weren't at a winning
Hmm.
percentage that the Spurs have right now
Right.
at 714, I believe is what it is right now.
Yeah.
So the Spurs right now are building something. And if you were to if I was to hear Wemby tell the media, this is where I want to be, I like the direction of this team, I would believe it now. I would
Yeah.
believe it now
You
because
didn't before. You didn't before,
I didn't
right?
before, but
Yeah.
winning cures all.
Yeah. Hmm.
And he's seeing that the system, the process is
Hmm.
working. That the picks that they're getting, not only Wemby, but getting Castle at 4. I
Yeah.
firmly believe that if the Spurs had the number 1 overall pick last year, they would have taken Castle, but they
Yeah.
got him at 4. It was beauty
Yeah.
was in the eye of the beholder, whether it was Alex Sarr or Reed
Yeah. Yeah.
Shepard or Zachary Sarce.
We start saying, yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was
There was no clear cut like, I mean, Sar for the longest time was thought to be the number one guy, right?
he's
Like it was
averaging
like, oh
19
yeah, yeah, yeah,
averaging
yeah,
19
yeah,
points per game right now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think they love the fit of Castle, so they would have taken him number one overall, even if they would have gotten the number one overall picks.
And
My and
The Harper pick
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah,
And I've never been one to say that depth is a great thing, dude. It is a
yeah,
great it's a
yeah.
great
Good
thing.
problem to have. Yeah. Mm.
And Harper is just such a cerebral player. He is such basketball IQ, and he got it from
Yeah,
his
he
daddy. He
is.
got it from
He
his
is.
mom,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Ron Harper.
yeah,
And I like the fact that the Spurs have built a team that is the pieces are starting to come together and the pieces are
yeah.
starting to fit. And then they're getting the right guys on the offseason. Whoever decided in the Spurs organization that Luke Cornett was the guy to go get, give that guy a raise.
Right. Hey, we gotta give we don't give Brian Wright enough props, man, because I tell you what, he was slandered in the past couple of years. Brian Wright was they were calling for his head. So and maybe rightfully so, maybe rightfully so.
Hmm.
Primo, whatever. Okay. But keep the same energy when it's going good.
Oh, I
Like
agree.
how can you say Brian Wright was trash and garbage, but when how do you get this team? Like, if you're telling me that this team is so well constructed that you'd rather not have Giannis, you better be singing Brian Wright's praises then.
Right.
You better be singing Brian Wright's praises then.
Hey, I
Yeah,
have said,
yeah,
that
yeah,
he was absolute garbage for the first 5 years of him being the GM of this team.
yeah,
But somewhere around the day that I was at the Rue Pub and the Spurs won the ping pong balls to get Wemby, from that day till today, December 5th, 2025, the dude is batting 1,000.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
draft pick has been correct. Every two-way player has been correct.
yeah,
Every free agent has been correct. Getting Fox, taking Castle, taking Harper, all that. He is batting 1,000 the
yeah.
last what 25 to 30 months.
Hmm.
And we have to give Brian Wright his flowers, right? And you know what
Yeah.
the other thing he's batting 1,000 on? He picked the right head coach.
Uh-huh.
Mitch
Hmm.
Johnson is the right
Yeah.
guy, and I don't, and this is where I just get frustrated with Spurs Twitter because I know that I bag on certain players and I bag on certain situations over the years. But one thing that I've never done is really gone after Mitch Johnson because I believe in Mitch Johnson. And is he going to be perfect out of the gate? No. You know who else wasn't? Pop wasn't.
Right.
Pop struggled out of the gate as head coach of this team.
Oh yeah, of course.
He was going to be run out of town.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know people
Eh,
forget that. Good thing Twitter wasn't around back then because people would have been calling for Pop's head. People would have been like, "Who's this guy? Who's this GM that's never had a coaching a job in his life, a head coaching job?" And
Yeah.
he decided to fire the head coach who took him to the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. Think about that. Think about that, right? Imagine 2025 with Twitter, a GM who's never been a head coach fires the head coach that took the team to the Western Conference Finals and takes over and has a I don't remember what we 15 win season. They won. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
They would have been killing him. Pop. People would have been hating Pop, and that's why I always love this like revisionary of way of viewing things.
I mean, it
People would have
worked out.
hated him. It worked out.
It,
People would have bagged on Manu, people would have bagged on Tim, and people did. I remember 2012 Twitter. If some of y'all weren't around in 2012 Twitter, I'll tell you what. The same people that love the Spurs right now were like, Tony's washed. We need to get rid of him. And then there was this I think that was the first. You know how like now, you know how we had like team playing versus team or team we hooping versus team tank or whatever that crap. I think the original thing for me that I remember back in like 2010, 2012 Twitter early was Tony's washed versus, positive Tony fans or something like that. Like
oh,
that was the original, yeah,
there
yeah,
was a
yeah.
time. There was a time when it was should we move on from Manu? That was also
Mhm,
a big chatter because
mhm.
Manu
Yeah,
had gotten careless after a while.
yeah,
Uh, that was a coup attempt that was successful by Greg Popovich back in the late '90s. Bob Hill thought it
yeah,
was a joke that
yeah,
he got fired, and
yeah,
think about Pop coronating himself
yeah,
as head coach when his only coaching credentials was I was an assistant coach under Larry Brown,
yeah. Larry
and
Brown,
I
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
a head coach at D3 Pomona
Yeah,
Pitzer
yeah, Pomona. Yeah, yeah,
in
exactly.
California.
People were bagging on the Mitch Johnson thing because he had no head coaching experience, right?
Right,
Right. That's what people were bagging on. Like you said, who else didn't have head coaching experience? Greg Popovich.
right. Now,
Like you.
so Mario is asking the question: Is Brian Wright batting 1,000 if Cedric Howard turns out to be better than Carter Bryant? Well, I mean, okay, maybe I'm just exaggerating a bit to say that it was a batting 1,000 because you never know what's going to happen on the back end of a lottery. But we don't know what we have with Carter
Yeah,
Bryant yet, so
yeah,
that is to
mhm,
be determined. That is
yeah,
TBD.
yeah,
But
yeah.
going back to the Spurs chemistry though, do you want to mess with it? I think it all depends on at what cost. And I know
Yes,
there are a lot of Spurs fans out there who are like, "Oh, I would never trade a Castle for a Giannis," and to that, I think that's foolish. Now,
I agree.
I'm not saying that that's the first offer you make because obviously you want to give them
Yeah,
the poo poo
yeah,
platter and to see if
yeah,
they'll take a crap sandwich and eat it.
yeah,
But Castle, if that's all it takes to bring in Giannis, and Giannis is still in his prime for 2 or 3 years, turns 31 years old,
yeah,
as technically
yeah,
Tina points out,
yeah,
you still do it because
yeah.
superstars win.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
you asked the question about the window. The window is interesting because we have to look over at Oklahoma City, who's the only tier one team in the Western Conference. And
Right.
you look at Oklahoma City and think to yourself, what is it going to take to beat them? And the Spurs, I don't think have enough firepower. We have enough to go 6 games with them,
Yeah.
but
Well, right.
the firepower to go and beat them in a series, in a 7 game series.
And that's my point when it comes to Spurs fans. And I again, man, I've been accused of being a Spurs homer, but I'm trying to be objective when I think about these things. And here's the thing: the Spurs constructed as now and doing the Miley Cyrus thing, and we love it. If they can't beat OKC and if they can't win a championship, then we're gonna look back on this and say, you know what? For the last 5 years, man, the Spurs were having fun and they were winning and they were having a good time, but they just kept falling short. It's like the pre-Tim Duncan Spurs. You
Mhm,
remember those years? Hey, Sean Elliott and Dave had a lot of success. They would get to the playoffs, right? They would lose to the Jazz, right? They would lose to, the Charles Barkley led Suns. And those teams were great, and they were looked back at in fondness, but
mhm.
they weren't looked as winners until Tim Duncan came and they won. You know what I'm saying? So they go to the Western Conference Finals with Bob Hill, and the Rockets do their thing and the Dream Shake and all that. And I don't know. Do you want to look back on this team and say, man, they were fun, they were awesome, but they just kept losing in the playoffs to the Thunder or to whoever? Um, Or are they one piece away like a Giannis to really, really contend? I don't know. What's up, Susie? She's in the chat. Mikey froze. Mikey left me. I'm all alone. I'm alone and unafraid. Um, yeah. So Susie's in the chat. What's up? Let me know if y'all guys can still hear me because I don't know what's up with Mike's shoddy Conroe, Texas internet. But so Joe's in a funeral, Susie. So that's why he's not here. Um, So yeah, point I was just trying to make is I think the Spurs team, as constructed, can make a lot of noise. The funny thing is a lot of people before this season thought they were a playing team or they wouldn't even make the play-in. And uh, don't act like y'all weren't saying that. Don't act like y'all weren't saying that. And now that they're like in the fourth or third seed, it's like, well, this team is so good that they don't even need Giannis. Yeah, exactly. It's the Rick takeover, baby. Fernandez is taking over the Area 210 podcast, alone and unafraid. You know what I'm saying? It's Friday and we don't give a damn. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's interesting, man. And I love the team as constructed. It's not like I don't. Um, I do think um I do think we're one piece away. I think we're one piece away. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun ride. So let me see if I can get Mike back on here.
All right, I'm back. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
There we go. Man, yeah,
There you
I was
go.
alone, bro. So I was alone and unafraid, and it was a takeover. I had the whole show to myself. Well, we couldn't see you, and again, this is what happened when Joe, the man behind the magic, isn't here.
All right,
So
so
we're working through it though.
that was beyond a cricket issue. What ended up happening was that basically my internet went out. Like the whole internet went out. So
Yeah,
it took me a while to kind of figure that out. But what I ended up doing was I'm now using my hotspot. I'm using my cell
yeah,
phone hotspot right now. Got a super chat coming on
yeah.
in saying $2 for better internet, make more money.
I should have just
Tony
left it.
saying the show's been canceled
I should
due
have.
to Mike's
I should have
technical.
left it. I should have left it as the Rick Takeover show. People seem to like that, but that was funny, man. But no, like what I was saying, Mike, just real quick to finish this off was, do we want to look back on this team and say, hey, they were great, they had fun, and they were a fun 4 seed, and they kept losing in the playoffs? Or are they one piece away from really contending versus the OKC and those teams? Um, and like, but it's at what cost, right? This is why, and this is why it's funny to me when people from Twitter think that they could be a Spurs GM. Like they think it's that easy. Like it's not that easy, man. These are multifaceted things that you think about when you try to figure out, at what cost. I would love Giannis. I would love Giannis in a heartbeat. But like you said, at what cost? At what cost? Now, I don't want
Right.
to gut. I don't want to gut the whole depth and the whole team. But I also, as much as I love Castle and Harper for that matter, if you told me one of them straight up for Giannis, and people have said this on Twitter, and I don't know if they're being facetious or not, but they're like, I wouldn't trade Giannis straight up for Harper or straight up for Castle, just one on one. I wouldn't do it. That's crazy. I'm sorry.
That is crazy.
Come on, man. Like, you're talking about a multiple-time MVP, former NBA champion. The stats that he puts up, y'all love stats. If you compare that to a guy like Castle, who I love, man, I'm not bagging on Castle. I'm just being logical. You can't tell me that you wouldn't trade that straight up. Now I get the argument of, well, he has a lot more longevity and he's only 19, 20. They have years ahead of them. Again, we don't know what those years are. I don't know if I want maybe years versus proven commodity as in Giannis, right?
Well, let me
That's what
ask
we're
you this.
talking
Let me
about.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's actually another angle that we need to circle around. You got to give me 2 minutes to get this off my chest.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
why you have to go. This is why you have to go get a Giannis and go get a Trey Murphy, because you asked the question earlier, Fernandez. What is the Spurs window, right?
Yes.
And we thought, okay, well, we can't compete necessarily with Oklahoma City this year. We might be able to give them a tough battle, but we don't have enough
Yeah.
firepower this year. But it's okay because maybe we can
Yes.
in years 2, 3, or 4 of this of this team.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question, Fernandez, just a yes or no question.
Yes.
Or how crappy would you say the Utah Jazz are this year? Are they a crap team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've come to the conclusion
So
that the Jazz, who currently have an 8-13 record, suck.
Yeah.
How dysfunctional are the Clippers? The Clippers,
Oh
who are
God.
6-8, 6-16.
Yeah.
Is that a bad team?
Horrible dysfunction. They are not. They're lucky to just have a whole practice and not have people being dysfunctional. So yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this question though. Both the Jazz and the Clippers are all right. The Jazz are bad. The Clippers are dog crap. Right. Both teams will be in the lottery this year.
Yeah. Froze again, Mike.
That is a problem right there.
I'm sorry, bro. You were freezing on me. I didn't hear the end of what you said.
Fernandez joined. Can you see?
You lost me.
There you go. Okay.
Man, we need to go, man. We need to see. This is what happens when we don't have Joe.
Joe has
This is
a
what
higher
happens,
bandwidth than me when it comes to running the software. No, but I was asking the question about the Jazz. The Jazz suck, right? They're 8-13.
Jazz Clippers are
Clippers are 6-16, right? Both are going to be destined for the lottery.
Yeah.
The team that owns their lottery pick this year is Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's insane.
And Oklahoma City also owns the lottery pick of the Houston Rockets this year.
Rich get richer. This is why, again, man. Remember all that fuck the picks and fuck them picks and how loud people were about fuck them picks and picks don't matter. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at now. Look at OKC and having those picks that they have. Picks do matter, man. Like it's so funny to me, man, how people get into this mode of like, and I think somebody says it and then other people just circle jerk it and they follow and they listen and they're a bunch of followers and they're all like, oh, somebody said fuck their picks, so I'm gonna follow too and listen. That's crazy.
Yeah. It is a little bit it doesn't make sense because picks matter when you have somebody there who can make the picks.
Yeah.
If Sam Presti's making the picks, then that's a good thing, man. You know that they're capable of doing what they need to do. Final super chat coming in from Tony Ornelas saying, I would love to get Trey Murphy than Giannis. What do you guys think? Long-term success.
Trey Murphy's a good option too, man. Trey Murphy's an amazing option. Again, I think it might not necessarily be Giannis, but the Spurs are one trade away, one piece away from really contending. You know, I think the team as constructed is a fun 4, 5, 6 seed team. Which, like I was saying, whenever we were choppy, a lot of people didn't even think this team would be a playing team. They thought they would flirt with the play-in.
Right.
So, don't act like y'all didn't say that. Like, don't act like some of y'all didn't think that this was even a playing team or wouldn't even contend. Like nothing. Like so, to me, this is like gravy, man. This is way more than we thought. With the hurt Wemby, and you're still in the 4th, 5th seed. This is icing on the cake right now.
Yeah,
but
Trey Murphy averaging 20 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, a career 38% 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
That would be a great pickup. That's not a superstar pickup, but that's one of those really
solid piece.
Good
really
pickups.
solid piece. Yeah.
Hey, let's give some love to our sponsor, PF Chang's La Cantera. They do a fantastic job over there. Go say hi to Sean Quintero out there. We're gonna call it an early show today, man. We're gonna get going we'll go another 10-15 minutes or so. Technical issues today has been really kind of
you're getting frustrated, Mike.
Throwing me off my game, dude. Throwing me off my game. But let's give some love to PF Chang's La Cantera.
PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Not only is it good food, you get to drink on over there. Happy hour from 3 to 6. And on Wednesday, we have Wednesday, half off bottles of champagne and half off bottles of wine over there at PF Chang's La Cantera. For a limited time, they have 8 signature cocktails for $8.99 each, my man. You know, the lychee martini, the lemon drop martini, the jade margarita. But it's not on the specials list. Go get that smoked old fashioned. Just trust me.
Yeah.
Trust Joe Garcia. The smoked
Hmm.
old fashioned is where it's
Yeah.
at, man.
Yeah.
And
I was again.
great.
Our chat is powered by PF Chang's, man. And I was scrolling through the chat because I couldn't see some of them earlier when we had technical difficulties, and the chat has me dying, man. The chat is funny, man. They are going in on your cricket internet,
Oh,
Mike. And
you know what? You know what's funny?
somebody said turn off all your Greg Casanova said turn off all your Wi-Fi devices, Mike. Chica can read a book.
Yeah. So we have T-Mobile, right? And then
Yeah.
we have a T-Mobile booster in 2 areas. I have a T-Mobile booster upstairs in my office, and we have a T-Mobile booster in the bedroom as well. It's supposed to
Yeah.
like provide like excellent coverage, but I've never had a good experience with T-Mobile. But I don't think it's
Yeah.
T-Mobile. I don't think that's the issue because I come on here the show all the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thi-
No, no,
I
it's
think
it's
I think
it's
the
no, all jokes
software.
aside. Yeah, all jokes aside, it's a powerful software to run all this because you're chiming in from Conroe, I'm chiming in from San Diego, right? Like it's based in San Antonio. Like so there's a lot of stuff that goes on. So Joe has the bandwidth and the high speed, low drag stuff in his studio, and he runs it off from there. So that's why it's happening. Like real talk. Like no
Yeah,
bullshit. Yeah, yeah.
I have good internet. He has. I work for the federal government internet.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. We have normal internet like that. You like our kids can game on and all that. Like Joe has like secret squirrel government type stuff where you can run all the software. So
Now
yeah.
you said secret squirrel. Did you see what was it? Was that a raccoon that went wild in I think it was in Maryland
Yes.
or Virginia?
Yes, Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Broke into like a liquor store. And
yeah,
yeah.
maybe we can find
That's
video of
a
it on Monday. But when there was a great news story, there was a liquor store that thought they got robbed because the employees opened the liquor store and
yeah.
they found all these bottles smashed inside the liquor store, and they found the culprit. It wasn't somebody
Yeah.
who broke in.
Yeah.
It was a raccoon that was drunk in the bathroom, passed
Yes,
out in the
yes.
bathroom.
That's my kind of raccoon, man. That's my kind of raccoon. Somebody quoted that and said that they thought it was a Marine, that the raccoon must have been an enlisted Marine. I thought that was hilarious. We got somebody saying peace and love, peace and blessings from Mexico. Hey,
Oh,
I
very
love
nice.
that. I love that. Well,
Very,
welcome to the show. I'm not gonna try to pronounce your but thank you. Five,
yeah,
five, five. Yeah.
very nice. And then there was a funny story that I was reading earlier today, and the comedian Carter Anderson was making fun of it. Did you hear about what happened with Campbell's soup over the past this past week?
I feel like I heard, but I'm not sure. I've heard people talking about Campbell soup, but I don't know. I didn't know why. So,
They placed one of their executives on leave. His name is Martin
mhm.
Bally.
Oh, the guy that said like it was for poor people or something like that, or no? Is
Yeah,
that guy?
so
Yeah.
so a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell Soup named Robert Garza has sued Campbell Soup because he was saying that there were certain defamatory things that were said
Yeah.
by one of the executives over there.
Hmm.
And again, he recorded this guy as part of the lawsuit. He recorded what this guy was saying. The guy
Yeah.
was saying that Campbell Soup is poor people's food,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
he doesn't eat it himself.
Yeah.
So, so it got me
Yeah.
thinking,
Real.
what is poor people food, dude? I mean, give me
Real quick, going back to this raccoon, Myra says that's Rick's spirit animal. That's true.
that's true.
Um, but no, yeah, okay, I did see that. He said something about the ingredients in there, like are unhealthy, and this is an executive, right, who makes probably a lot of money as a Campbell's executive, and he's saying that the money, the ingredients aren't healthy, and that it's poor people food. Like that was like his close, like that was like the coup de grace, right? Like it's poor people's food. What's
Mhm.
poor people food, Mike? A tortilla with butter. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Back in the we we
I had
we we lived
tortilla
off
with
of that.
butter.
We loved it.
I had a
I
tortilla with
love it.
butter
I
just
love
yesterday.
it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I'm just saying, and I know my girl Susie knows what I'm talking about. You put that butter on a tortilla, bro. Hey, um, it's a wrap. You know, what do they call it? Like crispy dogs? Like a just like a hot dog with a like a quarter tortilla, and you kind of just fry it. Like I don't know. We call them
Ishigo
crispy
saying
dogs. I don't know, but
spam.
yeah, spam. Yeah, yeah.
Ishigo says spam. $20 saying ramen
Yeah.
noodles that
Ramen
cost
noodles, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
65
Ramen
cents. That's a
like
little too much, man. That's a little
yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah. 25 cents. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something like that. About
Exactly.
25 cents for
When, when, when
ramen. Yeah.
when I think poor people food, like some of this I don't mind. Like I don't mind ramen noodles. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Poor people food to me is hamburger helper. I cannot
Yeah.
stand hamburger helper. That's the grossest. Okay,
What about like sloppy joes and stuff like that?
love
Like,
sloppy joes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Just because it's poor people food doesn't mean it's not good.
Oh yeah, some of it's good.
Yeah, we're getting twisted on poor people food, quote unquote. Doesn't mean it's not good. Doesn't mean it tastes good.
Do you know what I like? And I consider this to be poor people food, but it's like fancy. And it's not poor people food necessarily, but it kind of is in a little bit. Ham sandwich with Doritos
Oh,
or the
Doritos
or
inside of the sandwich.
inside of it or the sour cream and onion chips, just crush them in there,
That
dude.
that bro, that's going to the lake or the pool, and you have a bunch of kids and cousins and all that, and your fucking mom or your tia or whoever is like, look, I gotta feed all you motherfuckers like ham sandwich with Doritos inside the sandwich. Crush the Doritos in the sandwich, bro. Sticks to the roof of your mouth, like nah, bro. That's summer. That's 1995 summer, bro. You know what I mean? That's a 93 summer, bro. Like yeah, it's on, man.
No,
It's on. Susie knows.
I would tell Joe, poor people food is Bar S, that brand when it comes to hot dogs,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
where you get like lips and hooves in there. It's like what the hell's in
yeah,
there?
yeah,
I like the all beef hot dogs, dude. If I'm gonna eat a hot dog,
yeah,
it better be like a Nathan's
yeah,
or a Ballpark all beef, dude.
yeah,
Whenever you get the ones where like made with chicken, pork, and beef, like oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
god,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
gross.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's poor people alcohol? That
Oh, back in the day, it was like Bud Ice,
but
Mad Dog 2020. Now, Susie's gonna know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Mad Dog 2020, the Orange Jubilee. That was the move. Bud Ice, Old English 40s, like literally, Um, I don't know the other like the boxed wine. I don't know, like that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Like
Carl M 9046, who's a new name by the way. Welcome to the show.
welcome to the show.
Says I'll tell you right now though, if you live in the hood and don't have Kool-Aid in your house, I'm not coming over.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Myra knows about MD's 2020.
Dude,
Is she go? I think it's what it is. Also knows about MD 2020. Mickey's,
Susan say
yeah. Susie
Mickey's.
knows about Mickey's. But don't start talking about poor alcohol around Susie. She's gonna bust it all out. So,
No, the
um,
Mad Dog 2020, man. You go to a that's how you know you're in the hood, man. Where they prominently display that along with the
yeah. Oh yeah,
St. Ives,
yeah,
along with the what was the other
yeah.
one? Strawberry Hill, dude. Boone's.
Oh yeah, Boone's Farm. Yeah, yeah, Boone's. Those
Yeah.
were yeah, you're young, and I guess poor people might be the wrong word. It's just you're young. Everybody's broke when they're young, unless you're fucking Mark Zuckerberg. Like so everybody's broke when they're young. I was broke when I was young, and young people are just broke, and that's okay. But you know what's funny? Sometimes I think about this, and I don't say this to brag, whatever, but Mike, I'm sure you're in the same situation where over the years, and you become, a little older in life, you've done well for yourself, and you've made a great living for yourself and your family, and all that. It's great. It's amazing. Trust me, it is. But those like days when you were like struggling and all that bit, you look back on that and like, dude, those were some fun times. Like those were fun times. Like you were like, I feel like I was really happy back. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, not that I'm not happy now, but you know what I'm saying? Does it make sense what I'm saying, Mike? Like
Yeah.
those
No,
were
most
fun
definitely.
times. Like those were really fun times. Like
Yash coming in and saying beans and fideo. I love me
Oh
some
yeah,
fideo.
yeah. Beans and rice, beans and fideo.
Greg,
Yeah,
Greg saying Seagrams. Kenny saying Kentucky Deluxe.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, but like you know what I'm saying, Mike. Like when you look back on the early years, like when you're early married or young husband, young father, or just young in
no, I got
general.
you.
Like you're struggling and you didn't have everything and all that, but those were like happy times. Like I don't know, like it was fun.
It was
It
happy
was fun.
times because a lot of us
Yeah,
didn't have responsibility the next day.
yeah,
We could be hungover
uh
the next day and just sit there and just,
yeah,
be on the couch saying we're never drinking again.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm a big fan of a pregame.
yeah.
Even
Mhm.
today, I might do well for myself. I'm gonna pregame
Oh
because
yeah.
the drinks that I like at the bar are a little bit more expensive. So
Oh man, bro.
I'm gonna go
I
have two or
yeah,
three drinks
yeah,
beforehand.
yeah. You got it's like I always say, I said, I don't care what status I ever reach in life. I'm never above sneaking food and candy into a movie theater. You know what I mean? Like I'm never above that, bro. Like nowadays, you don't even gotta go to theater no more. Everything comes out on Netflix and HBO Max and whatever. But if I go to a movie theater, I'm not opposed to sneaking in some candy, you know what I mean, some snacks. Like, man, I'm like, look, babe, bring your big purse. You know what I mean?
In the big verse, yeah.
Like bring the big purse. I don't care what my status in life is. I could be a millionaire. I'll still sneak in,
Great,
snacks to a movie.
great segue. You mentioned Netflix and you mentioned HBO Max. Did you know that
hmm
today Netflix bought HBO
Bought,
Max?
yes, bought WB and all that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they bought Warner
yeah, they
Brothers,
bought Warner Brothers. Yep,
who
yeah.
owns HBO Max. So
Which
now
owns HBO Max. Yep, yep.
when they merge,
Yeah, everything,
you're gonna
everything
have
merges. Yeah,
a Netflix that's gonna have Game of Thrones, a
yeah.
Netflix
That's
that's gonna
awesome.
have Friends,
Yeah, I love
and
it.
a
Yeah,
lot of things
yeah,
before, man.
yeah,
Just if I could watch Entourage on Netflix, I'd be a
yeah,
happy man.
yeah,
God, I miss
yeah.
Entourage. That's a show that Chico never would have liked, man, because it's
Yeah. You know which show that I loved and I'm a huge fan of, but it got kind of buried in like the Sopranos and era. Oz. The
oh,
prison
Oz
show,
was
the prison
good,
show
dude.
Oz. Yeah, the prison show Oz was really good. It was like it started like in '97. Now, I'll tell you this. It's graphic.
Oh, I know.
It's graphic
There's a lot of
because
rape
it
scenes in there.
yes. Now because because it shows real prison life. Like you know what I mean? So there's a lot of rape scenes and a lot and but here's the thing. It shows you what prison is, bro. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like at the end of the day, bro, like so to me, man, Oz, I love me some Oz, bro. Fucking and you know what's funny is like, the guy, he's on these Allstate commercials, or is it Allstate or the he played Ryan O'Reilly on Oz. The
Is
guy
it
that's like, I'm
Dennis Haysbert?
mayhem. No, no,
Oh, mayhem.
Yeah, the Mayhem guy, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't know what. It might not be Allstate. I don't know what.
He is.
Is
Mayhem
it
is
Allstate?
also.
Yeah, yeah. Where he's like, I'm Mayhem. I'm a baseball bat that a kid throws and it hits your window and all
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That dude was on Oz. He started on Oz. He was Ryan O'Reilly on Oz, if you remember that. And uh the other Allstate guy, man, he was on he's been in a bunch of he was on Juno. You remember that movie Juno?
Yeah.
He was the dad in Juno. Uh, uh, he was on Oz. He was like the Aryan leader on Oz, Schillinger. Um, and he was in Juno, and he's been in a bunch of other movies. But
J.K.
yeah, man,
Simmons.
Oz
J-
is, yeah. There you go, J.K. Simmons. J.K.
J.K.
Simmons. Yep,
Simmons.
yep.
Ernie
J.K. Simmons.
Hudson.
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson
Ernie
was on
Hudson. Ernie Hudson. Yeah, he was the warden in Oz. Yeah.
there.
Oz was a really good show on HBO, and it's still on HBO Max, which will now be on Netflix, I guess, apparently. But if you've never seen Oz, I highly recommend it. It's a really really good show, but it's very gritty and it's very graphic. Like they do prison rape scenes. I'm just being honest.
There was a Luke
But
Perry sighting on that show.
yep, Luke Perry was on there. Yep, yeah, he played a reverend. Luke Perry
Yeah.
played a reverend in that show. Yeah, yeah, which was really cool. So
Uh,
no,
uh,
Oz
uh,
is an interesting one.
yeah. I'm looking. Edie Falco was on that show as
Yep,
well.
Edie Falco. Yep. She was a prison guard.
Rita
Yep.
Moreno.
Rita Moreno.
The
Yeah, she
lead,
was the priest or the sister. She was the like nun, like that would hold services in the show. Yep.
and because he's in everything, Luis Guzman.
Oh, of course, of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
And Luis Guzman is a token Latino in everything, dude. It's
Oh
either
yeah,
Luis
yeah.
Guzman or Danny Trejo.
Mhm.
like one of the two
Oh
is going
yeah.
to be in the.
hmm Hmm.
Um, Ishigo says Mayor of Kingston also pretty good. I've watched a little bit of that. I've enjoyed it. I don't know if I enjoyed it enough to keep going with it, man.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
haven't
show.
seen it. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I'm on midway through season 3 of Tulsa, or what is it called, whatever that one is with Sylvester Stallone. Stallone, 79 years old, still bringing it, dude.
Wow, wow,
Still
that's
bringing it.
amazing, bro.
You look at Stallone's career, man. That's a wild career that he had,
Hmm. Hmm.
because no one ever considers him to be like great at what he does.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He's not like a what do you like a Juilliard trained actor, right? You know what I mean? Like right, right. Like, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. Like he's not like this like great performance actor or anything, but
yeah.
I just think he has this raw, natural, something about him that really has kept him in business all these years. But yeah, yeah.
Well, I get
That's
that, but for 50 years,
boy, yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
of
that's
course.
that's the next level. That's the
So
next
I,
level.
I was telling Joe on the show yesterday that, and I was telling Chica last night. I got a message from Golden Johnson, former boxer from San Antonio.
Oh, I know Gordon Johnson. Wow, okay.
So he reached out and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
congratulations on your marriage and all that stuff." I used to play cards with Golden a lot, and Golden's a
Really?
nice guy. Go to his house, play cards a lot over the years.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I, I haven't in the last few years, but I used to go there pretty frequently. Then COVID happened and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Uh, and I remember one time I got Golden upset about something. I don't know what happened, but something happened at his house, and he got upset about something. And I said, "Dude, are we gonna drink it out or what? Because I'm not gonna get into a fight
Yeah.
with somebody who went 7 rounds with
Oh.
Shane with
Oh,
Sugar
Shane
Shane
Mosley.
Mosley."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Golden Johnson's been in the ring with Shane Mosley, and yeah, you don't want to mess with that guy. Yeah,
Yes, but I don't know what I did. I don't know if I was just acting a fool or whatever in his house. There was like
yeah,
50 people there, and he
yeah,
and I got drunk as a skunk that night, and we
yeah.
got along so
Mm.
well ever since then. I got to meet his wife. She's very nice, and his neighbors and whatnot. They live in the SeaWorld area.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that. I was like, man, I've never had Golden on this show.
I was just gonna say, you gotta bring him on the show. You gotta bring him
Yeah,
on the show. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be amazing. Golden Johnson, yeah, for people who don't know, he's not a big name fighter, but he was in there with Shane Mosley. He took on all comers. He trained at the San Fernando gym back in the day in downtown San Antonio when I used to train there as a kid with Jesse James Leah and all those guys who we have had on this show.
yeah.
And no, Golden Johnson, man, that's a name that I haven't heard in a while. Like I'm surprised. Mike, you're impressing me by bringing that name out. You're impressing me by bringing that name out.
Uh,
To
uh,
segue real quick about
yeah,
that big fight,
that's what I was
big
doing for
big
you, man.
big. Thank you, man. Big fight weekend in San Antonio. I am extremely saddened and remiss that I won't be there. I had plans to be there. Um, life just kind of happened, and the holidays and things are coming up, and with the Spurs playing in LA next week, which I will be there, and maybe going to Vegas for the Cup. If they do go, I will be there. So I kind of held off on the trip this weekend to San Antonio, but I had every intentions of being out there. Uh, Shout out to Myra. It's her birthday's on Saturday. I was gonna come out there for her birthday, but yeah, big fight, man. Pitbull Cruz, Lamont Roach, who gave Tank a bunch of fits. Big fight weekend. Our girl
Really?
Carolina T has been out there for the press conferences and everything. Yeah, man, it's a good show. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be on Prime Video on pay-per-view, live from the Frostbank Center. Big fight card. Big fight card. Pitbull Cruz has been in the ring with Ryan Garcia, Rolly Ramirez. He's been in there with everybody. So him and Lamont Roach is gonna be a good fight. It's a classic Mexican brawler versus the slick African American southpaw. So those are always good, man. It goes back to Chavez Pernell Whitaker type fight. So it's gonna be good. The undercard is amazing. It's talking about here's the connection. The Golden Johnson Shane Mosley thing. Shane Mosley Jr. is on this fight card. Mike.
Oh,
Shane
really?
Mosley Jr. is fighting this weekend in San Antonio. Yep. He will
Ver-
be the opener. He'll be the opening fight. Yep. Shane Mosley Jr., Shane Mosley's son, will be fighting in the card. So big weekend. Eris Lara's on the card. The Stephen Fulton Foster fight is going to be good. And then there's deep undercards that has local fighters. Adrian Toro, one of our local fighters, is going to be on the card. So big weekend. If you can
Yeah.
make it out there, make it out there. Yeah.
I'm looking for a photo, and I'll send it to you, or maybe we'll put it on Monday when we have Golden on. Um, there's a photo of him, and he and I are doing that pose where you're like
Like a
like
stare down,
stare down.
yeah, like a stare down, yeah.
We were so drunk.
Wow,
We were
that's
so
cool. That's
drunk.
cool. You know what? You gotta invite him on the show. I would love to talk to Gordon Johnson on this show.
Very
I
nice.
haven't
Let's see if
seen
we
him
can
in
have him on
years.
next Friday, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Very, very, very cool. Hey, let's call it a show, man. I got to get to work, and we had some technical difficulties, and it sounds like there's a
Hey, but we
bullfrog.
still we ended strong. We didn't have no difficulties towards the end, so that was good.
Yeah, we have
That
some
was yeah.
bullfrog sounding thing like this ribbit, gonna saying
Yeah.
Budweiser in the background. I have no idea what that is, but let's just say that Monday's show we'll be using the bandwidth of Joe
Yeah.
Garcia's house.
Yeah.
But very, very nice. Well, Fernandez, thanks for being here with us. How many
Yeah, I appreciate you,
how
man.
many mimosas did you knock down today?
Oh man, bro. I mean, I'm about 2 bottles down, on the mimosas. I'm off on Fridays, so I like to chill. I like to have a good time. It's a little chilly out here in Southern California, but I might still hit the beach. I might still see what's going on there. But it's nice because you could go to the beach still with a hoodie. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
cool, obviously by the water, by the Pacific, but it's still nice. So yeah, man. I appreciate you having me again, man. Condolences to Joe and his family. Um, for he had a funeral to go to this week today. But yeah, man. It's funny because it does show. We don't realize all the things Joe does behind the scenes and then how he makes his show run so
And
smoothly.
and those super
So
chats that we
effortlessly.
get,
Yeah.
don't go towards like our bills.
Right.
It
Right. Right.
literally
Right.
goes
Right.
into
Yeah.
the technology of what we do. Joe has
Yeah.
upgrades cameras.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
upgrades
mics,
software,
everything. Like
microphones,
yeah. Oh yeah.
all of that stuff. And he's even said, "Hey, Jimenez, do you need me to send you a new mic? Do you need me to send you a new this and the
Yeah.
other?"
Oh, he's done the same thing to me. He sent me these little mics that I can take on the road if I go to games or if I, all that kind of stuff.
All
Like, yeah,
that
man.
all of that
Yeah.
purchase of
Yeah.
super chats.
Yeah.
That's where the super
For
chat
sure.
money goes for all that. It's funny because Chica has already warned me that tonight we're going to a piano bar, which means that we're going to Uber because
Oh yeah.
piano
Is it like one of
bar.
like dueling piano bars or whatever?
So yeah,
Kind of
so
thing?
there's a dueling piano bar right next to a karaoke bar.
Nice.
So I think we're gonna hit up both tonight. So I got
Yeah.
I did last week. What did I sing last week? I said "F You" by
Yeah.
CeeLo
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
I gotta find a song for tonight, man. Gotta find a song.
I love those dueling piano bars. There's one downtown. What is it called? Like Shouts at the Moon or something like that in
The
San
Howl at the
Antonio.
Moon.
House at the Moon. Yeah. If you've never been there, man, that's a pretty amazing dueling piano bar to go to in
And
San Antonio. Howl at the Moon.
that's where they
Yeah.
filmed part of Legally not
Yeah.
Miscongeniality.
Yeah, for sure, yeah,
Very,
for
very
sure.
nice.
But yeah, man, again, I appreciate you having me on, Mike. I know we battled through technical difficulties, but we made it happen. But yeah, man, have a good weekend, everybody. Spurs
Very
play
nice.
tonight. Yeah,
Spurs play that. We didn't even talk about that, but Spurs play tonight. Going for
Yeah.
what would that be? 3 in a row? 3 in a row. They've won four out of 6 in this gauntlet of 10 of 12 games on the road.
Yeah. Cleveland's a tough team to play in Cleveland, but we'll be there.
You think
Yeah.
Spurs
Did
gonna
you
win?
did you see Jacob Toby taking the smelling salts?
Yeah, that was funny. I saw another announcer do that recently. I think it was the people from ESPN doing it, and yeah, that's got to be illegal, right? I mean, how do you get?
Well, I was, I was surprised that he did it on air.
Yeah,
I really was, and Jacob Toby, like I reached out to him and I was like, "What are you doing, man?" And he kind of just laughed it off, and then kind of funny. He's a great guy, man. He really is, man. So I shot him a text and I was just like, "Hey, man, like, what the hell are you doing with this?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was doing." Like, I don't think I don't. He didn't think it was. It's funny because he says on this, he's like, "I don't think I'm gonna do it." I don't think he thought he was doing it he thought he was just gonna like let me see what this is about, like, you know what I mean, like he was like, I'm not gonna do it, but hold on,
and it was a
and he
jolt
like
to the
smelled
system.
it, but that was it, like that's doing it, you know what I mean, like, so I don't know, man, it was funny, man.
That's like saying That's like saying I'm not going to take a line of cocaine, but let me just snort a little bit of it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna take a line of cocaine, but let me smell it real quick. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, Cornette is possibly out tonight. So
Oh,
man, we're gonna need some depth.
by the way, it's about karaoke and Tony bringing up that I'm going to sing Tiny Dancer tonight.
Yeah.
The worst song ever. Whenever I go to karaoke bar and everyone always plays it, like someone will sing the song every time, and it's the shittiest song I've ever heard in my entire life.
What is it?
It's Piano Man by is that Billy Joel?
Billy Joel, Piano Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crap song. And that's 6.5 minutes long, man. Not only does it suck, it's 6.5 minutes long.
It's like, all right, get on with this, bro. Like we need to get over this. Like, yeah.
Very nice. Carl reaches out. We'll end it with a joke saying, "I don't like cocaine. I just like the way it smells."
That's true. That's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say it.
Very nice. Hey, thank you to PF Chang's La Cantera for sponsoring today's show. Again, they have a happy hour from 3 to 6 today. We will be back on Monday. Go Spurs, go! And Tony Nana saying Piano Man's a classic, bro. Yeah, it belongs in the trash. Sorry. I like Billy Joel too, man. I mean, Uptown Girl was all right.
Yeah.
But Piano Man sucks. We'll be back on Monday, fellas, and I'm going to remember to turn off my stream so there won't be anything going on in the background.
There you go. Hey, we got, exactly. We got it rolling. We got it rolling at the end, man. But appreciate you sticking with us through the technical difficulties. And hey, stay puro.
Very nice.